All right, everyone. This is what I've been talking about here. Got another video for you today. I'm Cat Beefy with the Game Vault, and we're going to talk about Witcher 3 directors and other developers are leaving CD Projekt Red to start rival studios, man. This is what needs to happen in 2024, 2025, and moving forward. Let's cue to music, and we're going to talk about this. All right, so CD Projekt Red, CDPR, once hailed as a powerhouse in the gaming industry for acclaimed titles like The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt, is undergoing a significant transformation. Recently, a wave of key developers, including The Witcher 3 directors, have chosen to leave CDPR to start their own rival game studios. Now, CD Projekt Red was once celebrated for its immersive storytelling and high-quality game design. However, recent internal changes have sparked dissatisfaction among its core development team. Many talented individuals have expressed frustration over what they perceive as an increasing emphasis on identity politics and a workplace environment that stifles creative freedom. I knew it couldn't be everybody that was buying into this identity politics nonsense. There had to be good developers that still wanted to make good games out there. And this is exactly what needed to happen. If they couldn't push back at the studios where they worked, if the people at the top wanted identity politics in their games and pushed forward and supported those developers that wanted that, then this is what they needed to do. They needed to take a chance and leave, because inevitably CD Projekt Red is going to be laying people off in a couple years when their games start to fail because they're pushing identity politics. Unless they change their tune, or some weird miracle happens and all of a sudden everybody's brainwashed into wanting identity politics into everything. Yeah, if that happens, then, maybe things will change. But otherwise, this is exactly what needs to be happening. I've been talking about this for quite some time now, and I'm glad to see this becoming a thing. I hope we see more and more. So anyway, as a result, numerous developers are leaving CDPR to establish their own studios, aiming to cultivate environments that better align with their creative visions and values. One of the most notable departures was Konrad Tomaskiewicz, the former director of The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt. His new venture could ultimately create CDPR's biggest threat with the formation of Rebel Wolves. Led by Tomaskiewicz, along with other esteemed figures like Mr. Gawal, the art director of Witcher 3, they've united to create what they describe as a AAA dark fantasy RPG saga utilizing Unreal Engine 5. God bless you, Conrad. I wish you guys the best. I can't wait to see what's going on with you guys. I can't wait to see what they bring to the table. Now, what's going to happen here is these guys are going to put out a game, and it's going to rock. I guarantee you it's going to rock. They're going to hire the best of the best in the industry. They're going to do merit-based hiring, bring on good developers. People are going to hear about this. Developers are going to hear about this. Guys that are working for studios like BioWare that's putting out trash like Veilguard are going to hear about this. And people that are dissatisfied with companies that they're working for that are putting out woke crap are going to go to them and say, hey, I'd like a job. Are you hiring? They're going to be keeping an eye on this company and going over there, and they're going to make something great, I have a feeling. And hopefully this will inspire other developers to do the same thing and to leave these big companies behind and create new studios so that they can make some great games. Anyway, Tomaskiewicz ended his tenure with CDPR after allegations of bullying sprang up. He denied those allegations and was eventually proven innocent. And this is what happens. By saying he was bullying, he was probably pushing back against the garbage identity politics that they want to inject into games. And of course, they accuse him of bullying because that's what they do. They play victim and they cry. When commenting on the formation of their studio, Rebel Wolves sent a very clear shot across CDPR's bow. We decided to create our own studio and run it on our own terms, the official Rebel Wolves site says. Chief among them, the team comes first always. Happy people make great games. Games players want and deserve. Yes, it's as simple as that. Imagine that, a game developer focusing on what players want instead of what devs themselves want to see according to their own political agenda. Damn. This is huge. This is a turning point in the industry right now because this is going to be big. This is a big name in the industry coming from a big studio. This is a studio that is probably on its way down. CD Projekt Red is probably on its way down moving forward here. Now, I'm not saying The Witcher 4 is going to fail. I'm not saying the next Cyberpunk game is going to fail, but the writing is kind of on the wall with with people like this leaving and the people that they've been hiring coming on board. Didn't they hire Corinne Bush, I think? I can't remember, but they hired some high-profile, weird person with weird pronouns and some transsexual thing for a high-level position. So once you get these people in there, they infect. They're like a cancer in your studio. And they just tend to surround themselves with like-minded people, and they tend to push out normal people and accuse them of bullying or whatever, harassment, misogyny, whatever they can to ruin their lives and make their lives miserable there. So good for these guys for getting out of there. Anyway, the studio also notes that one of its main goals is to create a studio where developers can thrive, united by a common goal and a sense of camaraderie. The priority is the team, and the team's priority is to create the best RPG games the world has seen. CDPR recently made waves by making Ciri the main protagonist of its upcoming Witcher 4, making her a Witcher in a progress that's something impossible for women in the lore of the Witcher novels. Now, that's been debated in the comment section of my videos, and I'm kind of curious about what your thoughts are if you've read the novels. Do you think that's true or false? It's been hotly debated in my comments, but for the most part, pretty politely debated as well, and I'm kind of interested to hear more people's opinions on it. I recently ordered the novels. I'm going to read them because I'm real curious to see what my interpretation of it is. Anyway, the game's creative team admitted in a recent interview that they didn't speak with The Witcher's author and creator, Andrzej Sapkowski. And I guess he really didn't consult them very much. I don't think he's got a good relationship with CDPR. This decision was met with anger and pushback from longtime fans who are looking forward to another Geralt of Rivia adventure. Even the name of the studio could be a shot at CDPR. Geralt of Rivia is known as the White Wolf, and these devs are rebelling against CDPR, hence Rebel Wolves. Rebel Wolves secured funding through NetEase, a Chinese company which also casts a shadow of controversy around the entire studio. You got to take a step back with all this and see what's happening right before our eyes. YouTube commentator Smash JT said in his official write-up on the situation, wokeness is destroying companies across the world at breakneck speed. And who always shows up in one way or another to swoop in and invest at the very bottom? China. They aren't even hiding it anymore. He's not wrong. We're seeing NetEase step in here to prop up new studios, and Tencent, another Chinese company, potentially pulling the struggling Ubisoft out of financial ruin it dug itself in. However, this strategic investment from NetEase enables Rebel Wolves to pursue its creative ambitions without the constraints previously experienced at CDPR. So I'm kind of at odds with this. Now, Chinese investors, because of China's government, the communist government there, I'm not a big fan of Chinese investors and Chinese companies owning these things. And that's just a thing I have. This is a hard pill to swallow here. The fact that they're doing good for the industry is great, but at what cost in the long term? And that's what I'm really wondering here. At what cost are we looking at here in the long term? How much influence are they going to have? Are they just investing? Are they, they're just going to collect their money in the end? I don't know. Ugh, it's tough. Anyway, funding provided by NetEase was the last missing piece needed to go full throttle, Rebel Wolf said. With resources available to build a world-class AAA game, we can now focus on what matters most, development. Blank Studio has also emerged under the leadership of another CDPR director, Mateusz Ikanek, the former director for Cyberpunk 2077 and co-game director for The Witcher 3, started the studio alongside producers Jerzy Mraz and Marcin Jeffamau. I'm butchering these names, I'm sorry. Anyway, Blank Studio expressed a commitment to fostering a collaborative environment that values work-life balances and prioritizes quality over quantity, and that's great. Ubisoft can take a lesson from that. In an interview stated with VGC, Koenig said, after working for years in an increasingly conservative industry, we're ready to make bold, impactful projects that share our unique creativity and values. Kanik left CDPR after working there for 15 years due to a reported desire to escape the political correctness being forced onto the company's developers. It destroys creativity, man. It destroys creativity. If you have to check off boxes and fulfill quotas in art, you are destroying the art. You're making it into something that it wouldn't naturally be. And that sucks, that really does suck. Anyway, Blank Studio has rapidly grown from an initial team of 10 to nearly 60 members. It's currently working on a character-driven story set against an apocalyptic backdrop. With a recent $17 million investment from the South Korea gaming company NeoWiz, Blank Studio is well positioned to deliver compelling narratives and refined gameplay experiences. South Korea's also been putting out some bangers lately as far as video games is concerned. We put all our passion and dedication into our craft, and we're eagerly looking forward to letting you play the compelling narratives we are working on, Blank Studio said on its website. Rest assured, we will share more details when the time is right. The departure of these key figures from CD Projekt Red highlights more than just career moves. It demonstrates a significant cultural shift within the studio. Reports from former employees indicate that the work environment had become increasingly challenging, with some citing a focus on ideological alignments that overshadowed creative freedoms. The emphasis on maintaining a positive workplace atmosphere at all costs, also known as toxic positivity, reportedly led to a stifling of open critique and dissent. That's why things suck. This contrasts sharply with the creative and gritty essence that once defined CDPR. Such an environment has prompted talented developers to seek new horizons where their voices and creativity can thrive unimpeded. Iron sharpens iron. That's an old saying there, right? Iron sharpens iron. If you cannot criticize something, you cannot improve it, right? If everything that is brought to the table is left on the table as is in its initial iteration, it's only as good as it is when it's first brought there. It's never going to get better, right? Imagine if every movie ever made was made off the first draft of the script. It would be terrible. Every book written was the first draft of the book. It'd be terrible, man. This toxic positivity thing, this is from this generation of kids that have now grown up and they're now in the workforce, and they all got participation trophies, and they were never told no, and they were always congratulated on everything they did, no matter how minuscule or pathetic it was, and they were never criticized for anything, right? Oh no, at least you tried, and now they've brought that into the workplace, and they've created workplaces that celebrate this kind of nonsense, and look what it's done. It's destroyed an industry for the most part. At least it's destroyed a good part of it. And it's destroyed companies within that industry. They're learning, man. These companies are going to go down, and these people are going to be without jobs. When companies like these two that are just being developed now are on the rise, and companies like Ubisoft and CDPR and BioWare are falling by the wayside and are struggling, these guys aren't going to get hired at these new places. They're going to be blacklisted. I'm telling you, man. No one's going to hire them. They're going to be out of the industry. I don't know what they're going to be able to. I don't know what they're going to be doing. But anyway, it's going to be interesting. And those former employees might just come back to unseat CDPR, bringing back the kind of games that longtime fans desire, free of identity politics. The employees left at CDPR include people like lore designer Cian Mayer, the former games journalist who champions identity politics, attacks gamers on social media, and even once expressed a desire to punch gamers. Yeah, this guy, come on, punch away. Anyway, for CD Projekt Red, the ongoing departure of pivotal team members signals the need for introspection and potential restructuring to reclaim its creative edge. Meanwhile, the rise of Rebel Wolves and Blank Studio offers a promising outlook for the gaming community. These new studios bring with them a wealth of experience, passion, and a commitment to crafting games that resonate deeply with players. Tell me what you guys think. You glad to see this, man? This is what I've been talking about. This is what I have wanted to see, and I'm happy to see this happening. We're going to see some new games coming out. We're going to see some new companies on the rise. I'm going to keep an eye on these two studios here, and I'll tell you what they put out, I'm going to support, I'm going to advertise, and I hope you guys do the same. Leave a comment down below. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Ring that bell for notifications, and a like on the video always helps. As always, look at the beefy with the Game Vault. I will see you next time. Until then, peace.